It seems to be fixed permanently. How many weeks in a row is that it hasn't frozen? Apologies, by the way, I'm inappropriately dressed. The Fattercasters T-shirt is in the wash. Bad laundry management, I'm afraid. Should have been washed. Well, it's not in the wash. It's been washed, but it's currently still a bit, shall we say, not quite wearable. As I say, bad laundry management, but we can get over it because this solves many, many things. Cheers, everyone. It's Friday, and the beer is cold. Carlsberg Export again this week because for some reason our local Morrison's always tells you that they don't have Heineken, and then when you visit the shop, well, they do, but they just won't put it on a delivery order. So Carlsberg Export is always the substitute. They did try a couple of weeks ago, put Heineken on the order, and they substituted it with Carling. You can take that right back. Excuse me. So it's Carlsberg Export, and I've actually got a couple of things I want to talk to you about tonight. Usually I'm just, running on a stream of consciousness fueled by whatever's happening in the chat. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First and foremost of which is that in the UK, we put our clocks back an hour on Sunday nights, Monday morning. So everything will be an hour later next week if you are, kind of an international viewer. So I just thought I'd give you that heads up because I often forget. Oh, excuse me, that's a rather gassy brew today, or maybe just me that's full of hot air. I don't know. See budget guitar shows on the Galahad. That's not a bad drop. That's a good session lager, 4%, but tastes okay. And if you're on an all day, then it doesn't do any harm at all. Anyway, let's get on with the roll call. Dave Fiendish was first in, and then we got Johnny Random, David James, Terry Day, and Grandpa Joe. Greetings, John and all from sunny New York City. Wishing everyone a happy weekend. Well, same to you, mate. Balder64, who's going to watch on catch-up because he's off to see Cardinal Black tonight. Should be a good gig, mate. Then who else we got? We've got Peter Collins, and we've got Malcolm Spillett, Steve Entwistle, Theme Tunes, Johnny Random, and Vincent Brennan. Then there's Mark Kerno, Peter Nicholson, Rubbish Guitar Bloke, and Ben Allmark. Following on the heels of those, we've got Dr. Gomez, Amadeus, Joe McMurray, PFY Guitars, John Ross, saying another meeting of the Dougal fan club. It is indeed. Yes, the fame is going to his head. Or maybe he's just a bit self-centered anyway. Maybe some people might say he's a bit spoiled. Then we've got Chip Young and Anton and Ian Mason. There's Peter Williamson, Cylon Hybrid, and Searching for Tone. And Rent to Kill, Edwin Toonen is there. Hello, chaps. Greetings from sunny Amsterdam. It feels like summer here. Thank you, global warming. CO2 pushed into the air by opening my beer. Yes. Well, I make no comment at all on that. And then we got Johnny, Budget Guitar Show. Johnny, I've just upgraded you to mod status, mate. So if you want to chuck a link in the chat for your channel, let's get Johnny some more subscribers. I'm sure you all watch his stuff anyway. But if you're new here and you don't know about Johnny, he's the title says it all, really. Budget Guitar Show. I'll be honest with you. I'm quite jealous of that title because, I think when you think I wish I'd called my channel that, although I don't just do budget guitars these days. But when I started out, I did. But Johnny is dedicated to the cause of publicising good quality guitars that don't cost a lot. So if it's your sort of thing, go and check him out. Then we got Johnny D. what you're saying there. Shameless plug, searching for Tone. Let's put you up on screen, mate. If you fancy a quick watch while you wait, cheaters are getting exposed, but these guitarists are doing it right. Okay, some kind of expose you've got going there, mate, is it? And Budget Guitar Show Johnny is doing a live stream at 7 p.m. Stick your link in the chat, mate. Then who else have we got? We've got Robert Forsyth. We've got, have I said Gordo Canuck yet? If I haven't, I just have. Then who else? We've got Paul Trainer, BSC, the resident bass player, no less. Malcolm Thompson is there. And we've got Thomas Mulvaney, Chris Otterwell, and Johnny Random. I think I've said you already, haven't I, mate? And then there's Nathan and Cal B and the Rocco Cat, Blue Sofa Songs, Ian Clark, and Jimmy James. There's Malcolm Spillett, who's got some guitars for sale. We're going to be having a look at a couple of those shortly, well, in the usual kind of midway through the stream section. We're going to be having a look at a couple of, I think some of your guitars anyway, a couple of them are for sale. Then we've got, scroll down, I can see we've got David Evans and John Channing and who else? Well, Shane Allen, Austin Barrett and Jamal123 are all in as well. Grumpy Horse is there, and so is Bill Mumbo and Colin Falcon, who says his interwebs are appalling today. A carrier pigeon would be faster. It's weird how that happens, isn't it, mate? You know, you get that promise from the salespeople at the Sky or BT or EE or Virgin Media, or, guaranteed we don't slow you down at any time. Well, yeah, there's always some fine print that they can rely on to get out of that promise, isn't there? Then who else do we have? I see we've got Peter Goddard, 1960, and Martin Bix. And who else? Mr. Chris, 5254, and Robert Forsyth is in. Brad Dowell, Glenn Bailey at I Like Black Guitars. Hope everyone is doing well today, and let's hit that like button, people. Well, thank you very much for the reminder, mate, and let's have another wee look, see if there's any new names. Oh, there's Rexomatic, and who else? Did I see Steve Cassidy in there earlier? Did I? Don't know if I did. Oh, there he is, Steve Cassidy. Happy Friday, Fatcasters. Don't forget Steve's latest offering. I believe it's on the topic of a stainless steel refret from Agrajag Guitars, which something I can highly recommend. I'm just seeing I've got a couple of super chats in. Paul Trainer, BSC, thank you so much, mate. You are a gentleman, sir. Much appreciated. Regular as clockwork. Always appreciated. Never solicited. And then a fiver from Peter Williamson. Thank you so much, mate. That is absolutely stunning and fantastic of you. Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. Then we've got Dave Snack Stevens and who else have we got? I think that might be everyone. Jay Ao Young, I see you snuck in while I was looking at the super chat column. And Mississippi Blues and Janice L. And I do believe, Len McIver, how could I forget you, mate? You're in as well. Dudley Squat and Dave Lewis is in. So is Cal Texper and Peter Nicholson. And I think that might be everyone. Oh, Riff Rider, John Mack, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all, as they say. John Tate, and anyone else. I think that's Sargi is in, and Budget Guitar Show, Johnny, sir, you are an absolute star. I will make sure that goes to a very, very good cause, mate. Yes, we've got to support the vital industries in the world, haven't we? Yes, thank you so much, Johnny. Anyway, that is all I've got. I think everybody in the in the chat. If I've missed you, I do apologise. You know, I don't miss anybody on purpose, but this is, you know, I'm building the plane as I'm flying it here. This is a one-man operation. You see some YouTubers and they talk about, oh, I'll talk to my editor about that. Oh, yeah, I'll just get somebody to kind of look at that, you know, in the back office. This is what you see is what you get. This is me, you know, kind of a fat lad with too many chins and not enough hair. And, you know, maybe too much of a liking for this stuff. And I just kind of sit here and blether on about guitars and stuff. And it seems to pay me a living, which, you know, that's got to be a definition of living the dream, hasn't it? Anyway, I'm going to tell you what's coming up on the channel over the next few days. But before I do that, what I want to talk to you about is the Fender Ultra Series Telecasters and Strats, but specifically the Strats. You know, you can't fail to notice that there was just a glut of videos about these. You know, obviously, we all know how the game is played, don't we? You know, Fender get in touch with the great and the good and say, we'll send you one of our new flagship guitars and, you know, make your video, don't upload it or don't release it until a specific date, and make sure you say lots of nice things about it. And well, just a little bit of a spoiler alert here. That little red Squire Classic Vibe Strat that you can see on the back wall behind me there, in my upcoming review of that, which we're going to be talking about sort of vaguely on during tonight's stream, basically in the run of like what's coming up on the channel. You know, I believe I might have said in that video that if you're looking for a Strat, then it's hard to see what you could need that this guitar doesn't do, right? So I'm just curious. Thank you, Edwin Toon, and that is very, very generous of you. I'm just curious about what difference does it actually make if you spend like 400 quid on one of those guitars, or like I think it's about $2,500 on one of the new Fender Ultra Series Strats, the Ultra 2 series. Now, I haven't got the kind. Well, I have, but it's tied up in other things at the moment. So it would inconvenience me greatly to go out and to spend that kind of money on a guitar that, to be honest with you, I'm not really that enthusiastic about owning. Raymondo is saying, "Have Fender got a new guitar out?" Yes, it was much like an iPhone launch, wasn't it? Anyway, point is, I don't really want to go out and buy a Fender Ultra 2 Series Strat, but I want to review one, and Fender aren't going to give one to me. I mean, I'm just some hairy-ass double-chin pleb up in the northeast of England with, you know, with 32,000 subscribers. So I'm just, I'm not even on their radar. So I want to crowdfund the purchase of one. What do you think about this, chaps? Right, I could set up like just a one-off resurrection of guitars for good causes. Okay, you chip in, and when we hit the target price of the Fender Ultra 2 Series Stratocaster, I go and purchase the guitar. And I do a review on it, and I do a comparison with a lowly Squire Classic Vibe Strat. And then, when I'm done with it, there are two options. I could either do some sort of raffle where everybody that pitched in to the GoFundMe stands a chance of winning the guitar, or I could just give the guitar to Zoe's place, and they can do with it as they will. You know, so... let me know what your thoughts on that are. Is that something that you'd like to see me do? Is that something that you'd be willing to chuck a fiver in the hat, you know, to or a tenner or 20 or whatever, you know? Is that something that you'd be interested in seeing happen? I'm just flying a kite here and just wondering if that's something that that is worthy of time. Let me know in the chat, and I'll put a poll up on the community section as well, so I can get a little bit more. Let me write that down there. So community poll, because I will forget if I don't write it down. Yeah, it's just, I want to see how much of a difference there is between a 400 quid. Searching for tone. Put this towards the Ultra 2 or some beer. Okay, mate, right. Searching for tone. For tone. 1999. Of which YouTube take a third, but that's very, very generous of you, mate. Thank you for that. Or some beer. Yes, I'll buy my own beer, thanks, mate. But very generous of you. So, yeah, I just wanted to run that one past you, just kind of get the sort of lay of the land, see how things stand on that topic. Looks like it might be a flyer. We'll see. I'd be happy to chip into anything that ultimately benefits Zoe's place. That, by the way, I just want to remind you, in yesterday's video where I was talking about the Agrajag guitar, James, at that point when I made that video, he wasn't entirely sure which charity they would be benefiting from the raffle. It was either going to be Teesside Hospice, which is, well, it's a hospice in this area of the woods, in this neck of the woods, and or Zoe's place, and he's finally nailed his colours to Zoe's place without me kind of influencing him in any way. So, if you don't already know about that Agrajag raffle, we're going to be talking about that right now, in fact, because it's time to take a little bit of a look at what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday's video is the review of the guitar that I did my first impressions of yesterday. Let's go to the screen share and take a look at this here. This is the Agrajag Guitars charity raffle. He's basically trying to raise 2,000 quid for local charity Zoe's Place, the Middlesbrough Baby Hospice. And first prize is the Agrajag Corvus 2 custom-built high-spec guitar. Let's have a little bit of a look at that. We'll go into where's the gallery? Do I need to go to here? We go. There we go. So these are the pictures of it. An unorthodox shape, but I think it wears it well. I really like the kind of look of the raw wood on this. You've seen all these pictures before, so I won't linger on it. But that is the top prize in the raffle. The raffle will be drawn when we get when he's raised £2,000, and when you buy some tickets, you can get your tickets here. I'll put a link in the chat in a moment. It'll send a picture of your tickets 1 to 3 days after we receive payment notification. And when the target value has been reached, we will hijack the Friday 5 p.m. YouTube live stream of local legend, guitar guru and teacher John Robson. Draw the tickets from the jar the old school way live on YouTube. Plenty of notice about the events. Please read on for full details. And there's other prizes as well. There's a Jackson Rhodes guitar, a Gear for Music PRS copy, and there's also, I think he's doing some kind of setups as well, which are worth about 40. There we go. Runner-up prizes of 10 Agrajag setups worth £40 each. So it's Sunday's video is the full review of that guitar. Then on Monday, I need to put the link in the chat, don't I? Let me do that, or else I will forget. So here we go. There's the link to the raffle page. Many of you bought raffle tickets last week. And for those who did, thank you so much. But if you weren't here last week and you fancy helping out a good cause, then that's where you can buy a ticket and hopefully win a fantastic guitar. Monday's video is all about lead guitar basics again. So far in this series of videos, we've been looking at like one of the kind of linear pentatonic runs that travels lengthways along the neck. Well, we're going to get a bit more of a three-dimensional view of the pentatonic scale in Monday's video, where we basically look at the 5 pentatonic boxes, not just what they are and where they are, but why they are what they are. So that's Monday's video. Tuesday is, as always, a top 5 video where does anyone else, or am I alone in this, remember the resurgence of rock and roll and rockabilly in the early 80s? There were a load of bands who were peddling that kind of music, and it became like the Polecats. Anyone remember the Polecats? Loads of bands of that ilk in the early 80s in the UK, many of whom are still going today. You know, well, certainly that's where Brian Setzer's career really took off with the Stray Cats. And it was a scene I was massively into. So I'm going to talk about my 5 favourite rock and roll / rockabilly bands or records. Is it? Songs in that style, shall we say, from the early 80s. Then Wednesday is another tuition video. We're looking at the basics of songwriting on a Wednesday, and we've looked at many aspects of it. We've looked at secondary dominant chords this week and borrowed chords, and we've looked at the basics of a key and many other things. Today, or not today, but this week, we're going to be looking at how to use key changes in a song, where they can be really effective, and how I like to use them. And how I like to use them is just a product of, how I've learned to use them by listening to lots of great bands who employed them. It was a great thing about growing up in the 70s and being kind of listening to pop music that was on the radio in the 70s. It was just so much more sophisticated than stuff that's around today. You know, you take a song by like ABBA, for example, or ELO, and it's just in a completely different league of sophistication compared to, insert name of, famous teeny bopper heartthrob of 2024. Budget Guitar Johnny saying, I used to love the Stray Cats and the Jets and the Polecats. The Jets are still around, actually, as ever in one of these top 5 videos. I try and put some links underneath the video, and one of them is to a very, very recent performance by the Jets, and they still sound just as good. So that is Wednesday's video, the key change expose. And then Thursday, you saw me unbox this guitar on the live stream a few weeks ago. The red Strat on the back wall there. Humble little Squire classic vibe 50s Strat. And you'll also know that in this week just gone, I did a video about my top 5 favourite Shadows tunes. Well, my almost first impressions video of the Squire classic vibe, I've just done a cover of my favourite Shadows tune, and it might surprise some people that this is my favourite. It's not the obvious one, so if you want to know what it is, you'll just have to wait and see on Thursday, and that's the videos this week. And after that marathon, I need to top up the old Johnny petrol. Here we go. So, yes. And that concludes all of the blether that I had written down that I wanted to talk about. Crowdfunding the Ultra 2 Strat and plugging the AgraJag raffle again, because it's a fantastic guitar, that it really is. The pictures don't do it justice when you see it in the flesh, and when you're actually just being lucky enough to play it. It just feels like just a proper quality instrument. When you pick something up, it could be a guitar, it could be a pen, it could be anything, and you think, yeah, this feels like a quality product. Well, obviously that guitar is that. I see Johnny D is having a guess there. My favourite Shadows tune, Flingelbund. No, it's not the Rise and Fall of Flingelbund. Let's have a look. Have we got Janice L, I have no idea what you're talking about, mate. Pardon beaucoup from Third Rock from Sun. Me. Yeah, okay. That is going over the heads of quite a few people in the chat and mine as well. But, you're not offending anyone, so just crack on, mate. John Tate is saying, I want to know what happened to Mark Bolan's Les Paul. If it survives, it must be worth $1 million, given that Rory Gallagher's Strat sold for $700K. Yeah, I mean, Mark Bolan was never an artist who was massively on my radar, to be honest with you. He was a little bit too early for me. That really early 70s, 71, 72, I wasn't really kind of paying a lot of attention. And then when did he die? 1977, didn't he? So it was by the time I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, when I was starting to properly take notice of music, then, sadly he'd left us. So I don't, with that in mind, I don't really kind of have a lot of onboard information when it comes to Mark Bolan memorabilia, including his guitar. So Jay Aoyong is saying top 5 acoustic guitar solos. That'd be an idea, but I'd have to check that I haven't already done it. I've been doing these top 5s for so long now, and if I was to store all of the videos, on the hard drive, or even up on Dropbox, I would be rapidly running out of space. So I'd have to and given the fact that the videos are all stored on YouTube anyway, I'll have a look, and if I haven't already done my top 5 acoustic solos, I might have to do that. Malcolm Spillett is saying, Guitar Man. Speaking to Guitar Man, his favourite is Atlantis. Atlantis is a good tune. If I can recall, I think that was either the first or second track on the second side of the 20 Golden Greats album. It's weird how you remember things like that, isn't it? Maybe I'm misremembering it, but I seem to remember it being on side 2 with all of the kind of Rise and Fall and Flingelbunt and Genie with the Light Brown Lamp and Guitar Tango and all of that stuff. God, it's amazing. I can picture the record sleeve in my head. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. We're rapidly, Steve Cassidy is saying, top 5 guitarist wives. I think you mean, the viewers' guitars. I didn't christen this section of the show that we're going to be going to next, Readers' Wives. That is you lot with your dirty minds that did that. Ian Clark is saying, where does Dave Hill of Slade fit in the pantheon of 70s guitarists? Yeah, I remember reading an interview with Dave Hill, where he said that he was often a bit frustrated that he didn't get the soloing. He had all of these kind of things that he'd worked out, solos that he wanted to put into a song, and the producer wouldn't do it, wouldn't kind of let it happen, basically. What you saying there, Grandpa Joe? Can we send money for the Fender to PayPal so as the VIG to them is less than the payment that YouTube takes out? You could do, but just hang fire, because now that this idea has received a positive response, I will, over the weekend or early next week, I will put up a GoFundMe page, which is probably or maybe GoFundMe or Give Send Go, one of those kind of services, because they are obviously they make a little bit of money out of it, but then again, so do PayPal. You can't expect people to process payments and have people working in buildings doing it and not get paid a wage. and it's significantly less than what YouTube take. YouTube take a third of all the super chats, by the way, in case you weren't aware. So when you super chat somebody, or even do a super thanks on YouTube, if you give a tenner, then the creator in question gets £6.60 of that or thereabouts. So I'll set up one of these crowdfunding pages, and we can do it that way. And I'll post that in the community section, and let's just raise the money. I'm going to put a poll up on this, and whether or not the guitar should be raffled or whether it should be donated to Zoe's place. I'm up for either of those options. It's a question of I'm kind of giving back to you guys, the people who. And it's not an exaggeration to say this, it's you chaps who support the channel, watch the videos, and, kind of join the Patreon and everything, that, keep the lights on around here. In practical terms, what it means I can do is, during the whole kind of lockdown period, obviously the kind of footfall into this place here for people wanting guitar lessons, kind of tailed off, and I had more time on my hands to make YouTube videos. And now what I can do is I can take like big chunks of the day out of my diary and say, right, that's YouTube time, and that's it's basically it means I can spend time creating content rather than having to kind of just scrabble around and do it in my spare time. So I'd like to give something back to you chaps in return for that. But also, if you'd rather it went to Zoe's place, then I'm cool with that as well. Either way. Anyway, it's that time of the night, everyone. We're going to take a little bit of a look at some of the guitar pictures that have been sent in. I will just say that the stash, the vault of viewers' guitar pictures is running a little bit low at the moment. So if you've got any pictures of guitars that you haven't sent in, then send them along, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and your pride and joy could end up featuring in this section of the show. Let's have a little bit of a look at what we've got this week. This is Austin Barrett's pedal board, which is a timely reminder to let you know it doesn't have to be a picture of a guitar. It can be a picture of anything. It can be a picture of your entire rig. What have we got on here? We've got, you're obviously a Boss guy, mate, aren't you? So we've got a loop station and equalizer, compression sustainer. Really useful little pedal, that. It's one of those pedals you don't know you need until you have one. Then what we've got here, an overdrive, a distortion, a digital sampler and delay. So I'm assuming you use that as a delay pedal, mate. Then what's this? An electro-harmonic small stone flat. That's a flanger, isn't it? A well thought out little board, mate, that, always impressed by somebody that's got a compressor on their board. That tells you that, that's the mark of someone who knows the value of a pedal. That many people will just go, meh. And yeah, same with an EQ pedal. Anyway, let's have a look, see what's next in line. This is Chris Snowden's Ovation. I showed a picture of this a few weeks ago, and I said, and Chris had chopped the headstock off in the, not literally, but he'd cropped it off in the picture, and all we could see was the body. So it was like that we kind of got that view of the guitar. And I said, Chris Snowden's Ovation, or well, we don't know what it is until we see the headstock. And I got an email from Chris, a couple of days later saying it's Ovation are the only people who make that style of guitar in a left-handed configuration. He seemed quite. I wasn't having a go, Chris. I was just it was just an offhand comment, mate. Don't read that much into it. But the beautiful looking guitar. Chris, as you can tell, is a southpaw, and yes. First person I saw playing an Ovation guitar was Glenn Campbell, actually. I remember seeing that on, if anyone remembers his appearance on the Michael Parkinson show in the 70s alongside Billy Connolly. Oh, the memories. Anyway, what we got here? We've got Glenn Bailey's guitars. a nice little Peavey. I've never owned a Peavey guitar. I don't think I have anyway. There was a period where I was going through guitars quicker than I was going through socks, but I don't think I've ever owned a Peavey, and that is just so evocative of that late 70s, early 80s period, isn't it? I'm sure I saw maybe that guy with the eye patch from Dr. Hook playing one of those at some point. It looks that sort of period, doesn't it? Then we've got a lovely 3-pickup Gibson SG here. Glenn, you did tell me what model that was, but unfortunately I can't remember because I'm an idiot. But yes, yeah, it's got that sort of slight Hendrix thing going on, hasn't it? Because he played a white SG every now and again. And then fantastic guitar, Yamaha Revstar, future classic. I would warrant one of those. Just they will be regarded in years to come in the same way as the SG 2000 is, I think. Then we've got what Len McIver described as his Stratty gang. And once again, I don't have details to hand, but look at that lovely pickguard, sort of like a metallic paisley thing going on there. And it looks like that is, that's I think that's a USA Strat, isn't it? Then what we got here, again, twin point trem, 22 frets. That's got to be a USA guitar. And what we got here, I think, yes, I remember this one because I remember replying to your email, Glenn, that this one is a Japanese Fender reissue, and you've got EMGs in it, which is very, very similar to a guitar that I had many years ago. It was my main gigging guitar from about 1989, 1990, all the way to about 2005. Difference was mine had a white pickguard and white EMG pickups, but that guitar played in blues bands, country bands, indie bands, rock bands. It was a great little workhorse, served me well. And Malcolm Spillett's guitars, he's got a couple of these for sale here. Is this black Gilmore-esque guitar here is for sale. Note the shortened trem a la Gilmore, and this lovely red. Did Hank Marvin ever play a red Strat with a rosewood board? In my mind, it was always a maple board, but he's probably had a rosewood board one for at some point. So these two guitars are indeed for sale, and this I remember Malcolm saying that this cream one here was a present from his missus. And is this some kind of parts caster or something? I do apologise. I can't remember what you said, mate, in your email. I can either have the pictures of the guitar on screen or I can have the email on screen. And, I'd rather go with the guitars. But yes, if you're interested in either of these two guitars, get in touch with Malcolm or ping me an email, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. JR for John Robson, guitar tuition. That's what I do for a living. All that's one word, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. And I'll put you in touch with Malcolm if you're interested in taking either or both of those off his hands. And what we got here, we've got Paul Taylor's guitars. This looks suspiciously like a guitar that's very familiar to me. Can't remember what you said it was, mate, but that looks a lot like my Harley Benton Dreadnought. Apologies if it's something a little bit more high-end than that, but you got to love the picture of Wilco there as well, haven't you? Then we've got a beautiful Fender Deluxe Telecaster, a Les Paul Studio, I believe, and one of those airline guitars that, an acquired taste, it has to be said. Do you know what I mean? But plenty of people like them, and kudos to you for the poster there, mate. Many people, was it Frank Sidebottom? Many people remember him with fondness. And then his rig, what we got here? Let's have a look. We've got nice little Vox amp head there, and tuner pedal. What's this here? Another compressor, again, massively impressed by anybody that's got a compressor on the board. Not sure what the broadcaster pedal is. Drive pedal, EQ, then next row we've got, I'm guessing Path Seeker is just a kind of switching pedal. Flashback, that's obviously some sort of delay, phase shifter, and the Line 6 M9 Stomp Box model. So that's pretty much any pedal that you want right there, isn't it? Nice looking rig, mate. Very, very versatile, I should imagine. Anyway, we've got more. Then Theme Tunes 2015 American Special Telecaster. You got to have a bit of love for a Telecaster, haven't you? Lovely looking guitar. It has just good workhorse written all over it. That's what you want from a Telecaster. Nice kind of blue as well. Is that Lake Placid blue? I'm not really up on me Fender colours. And Vincent Brennan's Yamaha Revstar once again in Mayan gold. Is this one of the older ones, mate? The RS420? Because there was like 2 series of Revstars, wasn't there? And I'm just going by the fret markers because I think that the most recent Revstars had different fret markers, didn't they? Anyway, I might be talking utter nonsense. It wouldn't be the first time. And that is the selection of pictures for this week. Excuse me. I need a little bit of that. I need a little bit of this. Oh, see, we have some late arrivals. There's Craig Stamen and the Lamb. Nice to have you in, lads. You can watch it all and catch up if there's nothing on telly later, which frankly these days is it's not beyond the realms of possibility if there's nothing on TV later. Let's have a look. Budget Guitar Johnny, you chipped in for funding it, did you? Which one was that? Sorry, it's when you're scrolling up through the chat, you often see comments that are, kind of a bit disconnected from something that you've missed earlier on. Shane Allen, now there's a blast from the past. Can anyone remember Tanglewood Aviator? Great guitar for the price. I remember the name, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And speaking of guitars, I want to do a video on a particular Horner guitar that was around in the 90s. And can anyone help me out with this? I can't find anywhere any reference to it. It's like it's been memory holed. But a similar situation occurred with those Washburn guitars that had the different body woods. That was like, you could buy a Washburn Super Strat with like Paduke or mahogany or ash body, I think it was. And they were massively launched to a massive amount of hype in the 90s, and then they just disappeared. And I thought I was the only person that remembered them. And then somebody sent in a picture, and that they'd got like a scan from an old guitar magazine. In a similar vein, can anyone remember this Horner guitar that was sort of like an early version, I believe, of like a Line 6 Variax? Well before Line 6 were even kind of a company that anyone had heard of, probably before they even existed. And the deal with this guitar was that it didn't have any magnetic pickups, but it had a piezo pickup in the bridge and some kind of acoustic treatment inside the semi-hollow body, and a metric ton of signal processing going on inside. And you could dial it in to sound like a Strat. You could dial it in to sound like a Les Paul. They worked out that basically if you took this piezo signal, it was just easier to process in kind of early to mid-90s technology. I can't remember what the guitar was called. I do remember it was vaguely sort of Fender-y kind of shaped. I think slightly Telecaster-y sort of shaped, in the same way that one of those Godin guitars has that sort of slight Fender-y kind of shape to it. That's all I can remember about it. And I'm basically trying to put some sort of video together on guitars that time forgot. and that is one that's on my list. So if anybody else can remember that guitar, and you have any old guitar magazines where you can find an advert for it, and if you can be bothered, I would ask you to just kind of dig through your stash of old guitar magazines that you've got in the attic somewhere, and if you remember that guitar, that would be incredibly well appreciated. Craig Stamen saying, John, great video on the Agrajag guitar. I think we'll be speaking to James for a custom build. I was speaking to him about it early in the year, but I have the funds now, so I think it's on the cards. If you do, can I review it, mate? That would be great. Again, that is when James came to pick up that Corvus guitar that he loaned me to show on the channel. My words to him was, now all I've got to do is figure out how to go on the dark web and sell a kidney so I can buy one off you. I bought 20 quid's worth of raffle tickets anyway, just on the off chance. Let's put you up on screen there. Johnny's live stream is tonight at 7 p.m. if anyone can make it. This one's to test it, to see if the views get better. It's worth a try, Johnny, mate. I found, because way back during the earlier days of this channel, I started doing YouTube in 2008, but I didn't really take it seriously until 2018. And that's when it started to build for me. And I used to put my videos out at midday. And then I noticed a serious upturn in the views I was getting when I put them out on an evening. And the reason why the Sunday video goes out at 5 p.m. UK time rather than 6 p.m. UK time, like all of the other videos, is it's to do with our dear departed friend Mike from China Guitar Skeptic. I didn't want to schedule a video to go out that would clash with his 6 o'clock Sunday lives that he used to do. So, it's just my little kind of, I could move it to 6 o'clock now and make it like a consistent 6 p.m. All of the pre-recorded videos go out. But, it's just my little way of, my little homage to Mike, doing that kind of, just respecting that differential I put in, so I didn't clash with him. What you're saying there, searching for tone. Here's some more to cover the Evil Mistress YouTube cut of your hard-earned cash. Well, thank you very much, searching for tone. That is very, very generous of you. If you haven't put your link in the chat yet, mate, then please feel free to do so. I do think YouTube perhaps are a little bit, shall we say, taking 30% of a little bit. Well, greedy is an ugly word, isn't it? But, at the same time, I don't begrudge them taking a cut, because without YouTube, then what would I have to do? I'd have to put up a website. I'd have to get it search engine optimized. I'd have to have all the server capacity to do a live stream and everything. So, they are taking all the heavy lifting off me in that way. So they deserve to earn a wage for doing it. But then again, when I used to work in bands and we had an agent, the cliche is that people think that the agent is Mr. 10%. I would have loved to have an agent that took 10%. It was always 20% plus VAT on that 20%. So essentially, you were paying his VAT bill for him as well. Which usually worked out at 23 point something percent. So a rough calculation was that your agent took a quarter of everything that you earned as a band. Then you've got then out of what's left, you've got to kind of pay your roadies. You've got to kind of keep the van on the road. You've got to, kind of fuel costs, getting to gigs and so on and so forth. And, it wasn't unusual to do a gig for like a 5-piece band. You'd be getting maybe 500 quid for that gig, and and the venue thinks, 100 quid each. Well, no, 500 quid, the agent takes a quarter of that, so that's 125 quid straight off the top. Then you've got to pay the roadies, you've got to put some money in the kitty to keep the van on the road. And, you know, by the end of it, after you've factored in the fact that when I played live, I used to have to change strings every gig because they were just destroyed. If I tried doing 2 gigs with one set of strings, then I'd be second song in, I'd have a broken string. You know, so by the time you've taken off all your costs, you are, you know, on less than minimum wage, as you know, people used to say, you know, what's the difference between a parking meter and a working musician? The parking meter earns more per hour. Anyway, we only do it because we love it. Let's have a look, see what else we've got in the chat. Let's have a scroll up, see what I've missed. John Tate, I think, if we're honest, every male on this chat has had that experience. That's all I'm saying. Or did you used to get on a bus to the other side of town and go to a newsagent where nobody knew you, or more importantly, where nobody knew your parents? Let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh, Johnny, you're still doing Sundays. It's just a test to see if another live could work. Oh, nice one, mate. 2 live streams in a week. That's you know, that's one is enough for me. To be honest with you, because it's like, I suppose if you kind of script it and if you have, you know, some kind of plan of action of what you're going to do. But as you've probably realised by now, I have none of that. I used to get, just going off topic a little bit, about 10 or 12 years ago, I used to have a little bit of a role in a local community radio station. And I ended up, for a short period of time, being the assistant manager of this local little community radio station. And basically all that meant was I got extra responsibilities, including, somebody can't come in to do their show today. Can you drop everything at short notice and come and do a 2-hour live radio show? And yeah, I just used to have to kind of do it, buy a couple of newspapers on the way there, so I'd have some stories to talk about. And, you know, try and link that into what, you know, whatever music was on the system that day, and just absolutely wing it. And it was great fun. And that's doing this live stream kind of, you know, flying by the seat of my pants kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Gordo Canuck saying, you drink beer every Friday, so actually there is a script. True, mate. And what you're saying there, Johnny, me neither. I don't even know what the video will be out on Wednesday. Yeah, you see, this is, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm just going to pour another beer for the dying moments of the stream. Because of the support that you chaps give me here, I can, you know, kind of block out big lumps of my diary each day to make YouTube videos. And generally speaking, I can make 1.5 to 2 videos a day. And when that accumulates over a period of time, you get, you know, considerably ahead. So, you know, just to give you the sort of lowdown on this, the last video that I've made will be for, I've still got the tab to do for this. It's a Sunday video where there's a bit of a guitar kind of jam sort of thing like I do on a Sunday. But the video itself is uploaded and scheduled. It is for Sunday the 24th of November. Okay, so what I've got is I've got all of next week's videos done, all of the week after, all of the week after, and all of the week after that, because, you know, simply because you chaps support me on YouTube, and it means that I can say, okay, Monday morning, I'm making YouTube videos, and it's allowed me to kind of get cumulatively that far ahead. So thank you so much to everyone who supports me. I genuinely mean it. I say in all of the videos, but it's you've made an old man very happy. That's all I'm going to say. Let's have a look. Michael Purcell, I have no idea what you're talking about there, mate, but there's a couple of smiley faces. And no, I didn't get the reference. Chris Smith is saying, that's funny, another beer for the dying minutes of the stream. Right, we've got 4 minutes left. Shall I try in 4 minutes? Here we go. On your marks, get set. Easy. Steve Cassidy's always envious of your output and work ethic. It's not a work ethic, mate, if it's something that you enjoy doing. And, unlike many YouTubers, I'm in the massively, massively fortunate position that, sitting in this room and talking into a webcam about guitars is my day job. So, as I often say to people, the lessons that I do are 40 to 60 minutes long. And quite often it's nearer the 40-minute mark. So, like, if I've got, say, a 4 p.m. lesson and we get done at kind of, say, let's say 4:40, the next guy doesn't kind of clock in until 5 p.m. There's 20 minutes. I can scoot off over to here, do a bit of video editing, do a bit of tabbing for Patreon. And then back in. It's you just kind of make use of every spare moment. And like tomorrow, Saturday, my first lesson tomorrow is 12 noon. And I get up at sparrow's fart on a morning. I get up at a ridiculous early hour, 5:30 a.m. So by the time I'm kind of, shower, shave, walk the dog, breakfast, that sort of thing, it's 8 o'clock. So between 8 and noon tomorrow, I'm going to be in here beavering away. I've got a piece of music to write for an upcoming video, so I'm going to be getting that done. And, that it's just... But what else would I be doing? I'd be sat here playing the guitar, just noodling, and I might as well I can do that anyway and make use of it. What else have we got? Just in the dying moments, last couple of minutes. Gal7615 is saying, how much do you make from YouTube? Oh, that's between me and the taxman, mate. What I will say is that the YouTube revenue, pretty much, I've had a couple of lean months on YouTube, but that's just the nature of the beast. It ebbs and flows. But the YouTube revenue pretty much pays the grocery bill in this house. And, it's, and that's, a fine thing. And Jed Ellis, nice to see you, mate. Just at 59 minutes in, nice to see you there. Kenny Mack saying, hi Johnny, doing a great job as usual. I need to send you a selection of guitar photos. Kenny, thanks for that, mate. If you're the chap I think you are, and I think you are the chap I think you are, then give my regards to the chaps over at Songcrafters and apologise for my tardiness in recent years. I don't have the time for recreational music making these days. It's all business, I'm afraid, now. And that is where... Oh, David Evans is saying, oh, well, I tried. What did you try, mate? Let's have a look back up in the... did I see your earlier message to you, mate? No, I didn't. As I say, I don't have an army of Santa's little helpers, but I'll... David Evans saying, check out my message earlier. Okay, well, Let's scroll up and see what David... here we go, David Evans. Just watch Cliff Richard's 80th anniversary gig at Royal Albert Hall. Bobby guitarist is playing actual Strat. Cliff imported for Hank in the 50s and playing it left-handed. Amazing. There you go, David. I saw your message. I hope that has made your Friday. It certainly made mine, mate. Anyway, thanks to everyone for turning up and watching once again. A fat bald bloke from the north of England drink too much beer, get absolutely confuddled by technology, and it's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.